Hey guys, it's Justin back with an engineer's perspective, and today I'm going to do an overview of my Victorinox collection. I've said before that I don't really like the word collection because I feel like it means that you've got it just to look at because it's pretty, but I use all of my knives, so it's, these are all users. Nothing just sits there for collector's value or whatever. So, but it is a collective, I guess. So collection, we'll call it. But anyways, I'm just gonna kind of go through the models I've got here and kind of talk about maybe some things that I do and don't like, and then I'll maybe end on like my top 3 or something. So I'm not gonna go in the order they're laid out. I'm gonna go in the order, well, we'll just go to the first one. So this is the first Swiss Army knife I ever bought. It is a Victorinox Camper, I believe is the model. So it's the standard Spartan pattern. So it's got the main blade, little blade, can opener, flat, and then what it adds is a saw blade. Sorry, just bumped you guys. Back corkscrew, it doesn't come with the eyeglass screwdriver. I stuck that in there. I don't have a pin added into it. And then the awl. All right, so basically it's just a Spartan with that saw. I don't even know why I bought it. Maybe I did buy it for outdoor stuff specifically. And that's certainly where I think this one excels, is usually when I'm outdoors, I'm not loosing a lot of Phillips heads, which is like the alternative tool to this. I forget what it's called, but this corkscrew is good for getting knots out. And then I really like this saw for traps, and then this sharp spine is really good for like scraping like wood for like really fine shavings or striking a ferro rod. When you strike the ferro rod, because it's non-locking, I like hold on to the blade. But anyways, so I really like this for outdoor activities. Now I've got this lanyard on there because this is one way I like to carry them. Just drop it down into my pocket like that, actually. And then this lanyard always tends to raise up to the top, so you can just grab that and pull it out. But that's where I started. That was the first one. The second one was this guy, and this is a Super Tinker. So it's got the same tools, except for instead of the saw, it's got these scissors. And then what goes along with the scissors is the multi-purpose hook. I forgot to mention the scales have toothpick and tweezers. So, oh yeah, and the split ring, I guess that's a feature. So got this one for the scissors. And I didn't really carry either of these very much because I discovered that the 3 layers was more than I preferred, just to like slip down into my pocket. Even on one of the hangers, like on this Pioneer here, 3 layers was just too thick for me. So the next one I got was this one, and this is an Evo 84, I think. This is actually technically a Wenger, after Victorinox bought Wenger. Victorinox still sells the blades, so it's an 84 millimeter, I believe. It's the same size as a Cadet, maybe a little bit longer. But anyways, I really like this one. This is one that I ended up carrying a lot when I was at the sugar plant, just as like a useful little tool. There's some things that are different about it. So you go to this, you've got the same style can opener, different from the Wenger, like Hawk Claw or whatever version. But you keep their flathead, so it's smaller, here we go, than the standard. Oh, that's a compact. Then the standard flathead. You see that? And it's about the same thickness, but whereas, wow, this thing needs some oil. Instead of the 90-degree stop, what this does instead is, I don't know if you can see this, but it'll actually push in. I don't know if you can detect that or not, but it'll lock. So if you're putting a lot of pressure down and twisting, is it won't fold on you. So if you find that these flatheads are folding up on you, these Wenger ones might be the thing to do. The other notable thing is that instead of having that small secondary blade, is it's got this nail file instead. And if I'm just carrying one of these blades, I like having the two, because one is like the get dirty, get dull blade, and the other one I keep sharp. So I'll use the long one, I'll dull, and the short one I'll keep sharp personally. But whereas these are normally like a secondary blade for me, I like having a different useful tool. So I like that this tool doesn't have the secondary blade. It's got this nail file. I'm just pointing out the difference between like the Cadet, how they decided to put the nail file on the nail nick side. And I believe they did that so that it doesn't scratch the blade. See how it's flat on the blade side? Whereas on the Cadet, it's on there. The Cadet is the better way, in my opinion, no doubt. And then just normal backside tools. This Evo grip is really comfortable. I actually really like this one. This is a great tool. And then after that, I don't really know. So I'll just kind of go through the other ones roughly here. Here's a Spartan. So it's just the basic tool set. It's basically a camper, but no saw. I got one in black because I prefer the non-red colors, but like they're not as readily available, just like at stores. So this is a Spartan. I really like this as like a wedding knife because it looks kind of sexy and it's sleek and you can open up wine bottles with it. This is a normal Tinker, so it's a super Tinker minus the scissors and hook. You can see I've got the Swiss clip on this one. It's a little bit cumbersome and janky, and if you want to get out your tweezers, you have to use the toothpick to kind of fish it out of there. So that's a little janky. You can see how much of a struggle that is. There you go. But I've used, normally in a situation where I want the Swiss clip would be like if I've got sweatpants on, but I want to carry like a full functioning tool, then that's where I might do this sort of a thing, but I still prefer that carry option. But it's a Swiss clip. I'm just kind of showing off different ways I've tried carrying them. So that's a Tinker. Next, and you know what I missed is actually the classic SD is what I got after the camper. Is this tool is what made me want to get the scissors on the Super Tinker, because these scissors were amazing. So I carried this on my keychain for like 9 months, and I was just like in awe, blown away, amazed. I loved it. It's got the scissors, then a tiny little knife, a little screwdriver for flathead. It does work on Phillips, and then the nail file, tweezer, toothpick. Love this guy. I like that, the color too. I like the ruby. So classic SD. Just kind of jumping all around in the rough order that I did these. This is a Victorinox MiniChamp. It's got a million tools. I use that as a flathead. The Coke spoon is a ruler that I don't really ever use. I use this for opening packages, and I have peeled oranges with it. There's like my to get it dull blade. That's a nail file and pick. I like that for cleaning my nails. I like the pen for writing at the grocery store on my list. That's my keep sharp blade. This is really the advantage of it right here, is this is an awesome Phillips driver, cap lifter, wire stripper, but the cap lifter just works okay, but that Phillips is amazing. And then the normal scissors. This one's got the whatchamahave on this side, tweezers. So I like this when I really want a lot of firepower in a small package. And then I tried these guys over here. These are two of the probably most popular Alox tools. Actually, I got a green Cadet. It was a Cutlery Shop exclusive, and I lost it. I found it and lost it again. So that's the danger, especially of these Alox ones, is they'll slip in and out of your pocket a little too easy. So I've lost that green one. I bought a red one just because it's fun to have a color. Although, honestly, with these Alox guys, they get beat up pretty readily, not too bad. But if you just buy a silver one, like, it'll look nicer for longer, so keep that in mind. But Cadet is awesome. It's smaller than the normal one. The blade, wow, is thinner. So a thinner stock, super thin behind the edge, just so slicey, it blows your mind. It's very thin. Compare that to a regular 2-layer. I mean, shoot, it's just maybe a 1/16 of an inch thicker than the middle 2 layers of a standard tool. But yeah, it's got the nail file, and then these are standard there, and that's it. It's awesome. This is a great knife. And then I got the Pioneer just because, and the Pioneer is a great work knife. This is probably, of all of these ones, this is my favorite one to bring in a work environment, to like back up like a Leatherman or something. I really like this as a work knife. It's much beefier than all the other ones. The string, and same with the Cadet actually. They have extra strong springs on these guys. I really like that feel. But beefier stock, beefier behind the edge. Blade, it's longer than a standard tool. I think these are 91, this is 93. It's got a way beefy flathead, great pry tool there. And then I think this is a standard. Yep, looks to be a standard can opener. And then it's got this sweet inline awl here. So it's great for either starting holes, making holes. It's good for scraping on things. And then in the spirit of the 2-blade system, I use this one to like open boxes and do nasty stuff. And then this one I roughly try to keep sharper. And then this is that clip that you can put on the keyring there, and it just hangs in your pocket. This is probably, I either like to dump it all the way down in the bottom or use the hanger, one of the two. But the problem is if you use the hanger and then I'm gonna go and use the awl, is it's either flopping in the way like that, or I have to hold it. And if you're twisting it around a lot, it's kind of a pain in the tuchus. So my most preferred is just bare naked. Or we'll move over here because we're probably at this point, I've covered all of them. But these ones is, I got the Rambler. So I loved the classic. The MiniChamp was too big to have all the time, but it was that Phillips that was amazing. So the Rambler is just a classic with this Phillips driver on here, and this thing is amazing. Also, worth noting, let's see where the knife is. Here it is on the Rambler, the knife points away from the keyring, whereas on the Classic, the knife points towards it. So if you don't want to take it off your keys, the Rambler is nicer. So it's got two things above the Classic there. It's twice the cost, but it's worth it. And then I just use one of these S-beaners here, so I can take it off, use it for what I need to use it for, and then put it back on. So I've tried doing these suspension clips on an S-beaner, but it gets so like long, and I don't know. I just don't really like it. So anyways, so I got the Rambler, which is one of my absolute favorites. It's my second favorite Victorinox. Well, I guess we'll get to that giveaway there. And then I got the Classic SD Alox because it's crazy thin and light. So if you want something that's just so, wow, really struggling with the camera today, unobtrusive, then this thing is a winner. It doesn't get less obtrusive than this Victorinox Classic Alox. And then it's so capable, same tools as the normal one, minus the scale tools. But that thing is amazing. Like, if you don't own any of these, you have to buy at least one of these two. So yeah, I really like this one for low pro. I bought like one of those teal ones for my wife. She keeps it on her keychain because it's very unobtrusive but very useful. And then I finally bought, this is, you know, one of the most recent ones I've gotten. Actually, I think I haven't talked about that one either. Yeah, is the compact. I got this one early 2020, and to this day is probably my singularly favorite pocket knife. Like, if, you know, a lot of EDC guys like to play the game of like, you know, if you could only own one knife or keep one knife, what would it be? So not considering kitchen knives in that assessment, this is the one I would keep. I actually have a special one, because I actually have two of these. Excuse me. This is actually the one I carry every day now, but it's got some words on it that are special to me from my wife and son. But this is my old compact. I actually lost it for a while. But this is the one knife, if I could only keep one, I would keep, well, the one that has the special meaning to it. And the reason why I got this is a very big departure. So standard 91mm blade, but it's got this combo tool that gets a lot done. Prying, flathead, fill-ups, can opening, bottle opening, wire stripping. I don't particularly like the wire stripping capability of this one because all Victorinox blades are gonna slant inwards toward the middle. So if you're actually trying to clamp a wire in there, the blade is slanting away from the combo tool, whereas in a normal Victorinox the blade is slanting in towards it, and that works a lot better. So one of the things I really like about the Pioneer as a work knife is if you're dealing with like really small gauge like control wiring, that a lot of times your wire strippers won't have the right size, but this thing, you can get it in there and ring it around, take out your knife blade and strip off that casing on your wire. Great for those small wire jobs. But yeah, it's a pretty big departure, that blade, the combo tool, but it's got the scissors in the 2-layer format. Like I said, the 3-layer just doesn't jive with me, it's too big. I like the corkscrew over the Phillips, and then I like the multi-purpose hook, and files are kind of a big thing for me, so I like having the file back there. And then it also includes the pen. So I like having the pen at the grocery store, and I never use this, but it does have a pin. All Victorinox knives have this little, or 91mm knives have this little slot, but I never use the pin, but it's nice to know it's there. It's cost you nothing. Yeah, so there's the compact, and all that leaves now is my two most recent ones. So one-handed Trekker. I just wanted to try out one of these bigger Victorinox knives. I liked the one-handed feature of it. Certainly works well. I have a review on this. I think it's, you know, fine for what it is. It's got a nice big saw, but I think for the rolls it can do for me, I've got better options I like more. And then my absolute most recent one is this bad boy right here. This is a mechanic, a Victorinox mechanic. So it's basically a super tinker, or it's a tinker, but with these pliers stuck in the middle. And these are discontinued. They're pretty hard to find, but I found this at a gun show for just like normal price, so I picked it up. I haven't really tried it on much yet. It's got a tiny little wire cutter right in there. It's got the big plier, the fine plier, and then a crimper back here. So haven't got to try this one out yet, but I'm pretty excited to have pliers in this format. So I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm going to start working this in eventually. So yeah, that's kind of my Victorinox collection, for lack of a better word. The rough order that I kind of bought these in, and a little bit about each one. So my top three I kind of already gave away, but my third, well, we'll do top 4, just because I want to include the Pioneer. So the Pioneer is my 4th favorite Victorinox. Well, we'll go from this direction that way. So the Pioneer is my 4th favorite. My 2nd favorite is the Cadet, just because of how svelte it carries. I like the Pioneer because of how beefy and capable it is. And then my 2nd favorite is the Rambler, because it's just got so much capability in such a tiny package. It's really fantastic. And then unsurprisingly, my very favorite one is the Victorinox Compact. So these are the best Victorinox knives that I've tried, and in my mind, I think the Electrician and the Pioneer X might be interesting for me. The Electrician more so, because the Pioneer X is a 3-layer knife, so that kind of takes it off my list a little bit. So the Electrician may replace the Pioneer, who knows? I'm doubtful, but well, it depends on how it works into the system. But anyways, so there you go. Those are my Victorinoxes. Those are my favorites. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.